Okay, so today my talk's going to deal with databases, and we're going to just do a quick introduction here. And I'm going to start out by doing something I think everybody is familiar with, and that's shopping on the internet. So I have a pretty typical e-commerce site here, and I'm using the rei.com. We're going to be shopping. Spring break's coming up here, and we're going to be shopping for some outdoor equipment. And what I want to do is use their database here to find a new cooking stove so I can boil up some noodles or whatever I like to eat out camping over spring break here. Okay, so let's take a look at this site here. First, I have a search area where I can put in whatever I want to search for here. I put in my cooking stove. And I can search. That's an important database feature, being able to search, and I do that, and boom, I have a bunch of hits here for cooking stoves. Okay, and then once I do that, I can filter, I can sort here. So if I want to look, maybe sort from lowest to highest. All right, and it looks like I have 20 hits per page and about 4 pages, so I have somewhere between about 61 and 80 hits here from that particular search. And I can go ahead and flip over to the next. Let's find a stove I'm looking for here. I'm looking for something. Actually, I had something else in mind. Let me go back a page so I can go through various pages here. I can change this, so rather than 20 products a page here, I'll put 100 on there. And I have one page now. I'm sorted by lowest price to highest. And here's the one I'm interested in. This is kind of the low-end Century single burner stove. Okay, I think I attach a propane tank on the bottom there, and they have these nice features. Do you see this? This is all database-driven here, database-driven website, so I can actually zoom in on this particular image. And some other features that I have here, and these are descriptions, specifications, even a set of reviews here from other users. All right, and so as I go through this here, I'd like you to try and imagine trying to put this volume of data into a spreadsheet, and I think it becomes pretty overwhelming. All right, let me go through another example here where I'm going to go ahead and use a filter this time, and the filter this time I'm going to use is I'm going to look for under the camping and hiking department, and I'll go over here to, here's my camp kitchen, and now I can show just stoves. And so this page loads up here, and again I have a bunch of hits, and I'm showing 100 a page. And let's do lowest to highest price again. Okay, so I've done a filter and then a second filter here. So I filtered. So I looked at my first filter was camping and hiking. My second filter was to look under stoves. All right, and now I'm doing a sort here, and I'm sorting from lowest to highest price. And again, another mechanism for me to get at, here's my product that I'm looking to buy, looking to purchase here. Okay, and some of this stuff we can visualize how we put this in a spreadsheet. Like for instance, the product name, the price, the item number. Those would all be nice things to put in a table. But I think where we're going with this is that we need more than one table to store this type of information. All right. So when we look at databases, what we want as an end user are these three particular functions. We want to be able to search database, we want to filter database, and we want to be able to sort it. And we just did that in our past example here. All right, in our databases, whether they're web-based, whether they're a proprietary system, or what we're going to study in this class is Microsoft Access, which again is a database. Another database that I'm sure all of you have used in the past, and you'll be using it sometime in the near future here, is CyberBear. Okay, and CyberBear is actually a user interface that provides a front end to the Oracle database or the Banner database that runs the university system. Okay, so we have all used databases before, and when somebody asks you about a database, it isn't always necessary to say, oh yeah, I know a little bit about Microsoft Access. You could say, well, I use databases all the time to do searches, sorts, and filters. Okay. So let me give you some other motivation here. Why would I want to use a database over a spreadsheet? Besides the big three features here, search, filter, and sort, we also have data integrity. So in other words, I can have additional requirements on my data. For instance, if I have a form that I have somebody filling out and I want them to put in their zip code, I could lock that down with additional requirement where it has to be an integer. The data type has to be an integer. Or if I want somebody to check a yes/no answer to a particular field, then I could limit that to a Boolean data type. All right, or maybe a field is required. I can't put the record in unless I have an entry in a particular field. All right, so we have data integrity. Another reason why we have a database is that we might have the need. In fact, this is the big plus in my mind for multiple tables. And if we have multiple tables, we can link the tables together using primary keys and then the foreign key of the table that we're linked to. Okay, and this is known as a relationship. So in this chapter, we're going to spend some time, and it's at the end of chapter 1 here, they introduce the idea of relationships. And this is critical information if you're going to understand the true power of a database. All right. The last component why I think a database is favored over a spreadsheet is if we need to write queries. All right. And if we need to write specific questions to filter and sort. Now you can filter and sort in a spreadsheet, and it's actually quite efficient. But if there's times when we need to filter and sort, and we're also going to pull data from multiple tables, then a query is far superior. All right. So reasons to use a database besides searching, filter, and sort, we have data integrity. We have multiple tables and relationships that interconnect those tables, and then we have the ability to write queries. All right. So when you look at our data set, if you want to identify what this looks like, and even go all the way back to our very first classes, where you can think of the analogy where we had a sheet of paper or ledger pad, and we had rows that were records, and then we'd put a couple lines through there, and those would be different columns, and columns would be fields. Okay, with the database, we have the same thing. We have records and fields, and they're aligned again in tables. It's a collection of records. We put them in a table, and so we have the additional feature here now where we can have multiple tables, and that's the added feature of a database. All right. So let's talk quickly Microsoft Access. It has tables, okay, just like Excel, but we have relationships. We have tools where we can create relationships between tables, all right? We also have the ability to write queries. And any database that we have should have these three basic elements: tables, relationships, and queries. Now, what Microsoft Access does have that a lot of other databases do not have is that of a user interface. In other words, you can create forms to enter in data or to view data, and we can also create reports, generate reports. And if you think of the difference between a form and a report, a form is used on a screen, on a monitor. So a form, somebody would be using the monitor to enter and request data, versus a report typically is found in a hard copy form or a PDF file. So we have these two other mechanisms. When you go into Microsoft Access, you'll see the tables, you'll see you have the ability to create queries, but you also have forms and reports. All right. One last detail about Microsoft Access. You think about the difference in computers between storage and memory. All right, I'll give you an example. If I'm asking you for a storage device, I say grab one and hold one up, you could probably pick up like your USB drive or maybe a DVD or a CD. Those are all examples of storage devices. My hard drive is a storage device. Now memory is a little different in a computer because memory is inside the computer, and it comes in the form of RAM. All right, and so when we're working in, say, Excel, and I'm making additions to the spreadsheet, I'm making some changes, revisions, editing, all that resides in memory until I save it. Okay. Now Microsoft Access differs because it writes data. In fact, most databases do directly to storage. So when I make a change in my Microsoft Access database, there's no saving. Now I might save my structure, but that once the data goes in there, it immediately gets written to storage. Okay, so as you go through that and you're getting out of your Microsoft Access database, you put a bunch of data in there, you wonder why it doesn't prompt you to save. It's because it's being written directly to storage.